Chris, as is common with a lot of these situations, law enforcement will want to brief the public and make sure that they're abreast of how the search is going. But as you said, this news conference was not expected. This is something that will happen at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we'll make sure to bring that to you. Right now, I want to bring in Dr. Nina Cerfolio tonight. She's an award-winning, board-certified psychiatrist and psychoanalyst based in New York City, and she's an expert on mass shootings. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start with your reaction here. What are you thinking now that this community is hearing the news about this suspected killer now being dead?
So this was a horrific event that terrorized the people in this small community in Lewiston. And I'm sure in some ways, even though it's a tragic ending to all this violence, that they can take a deep breath and, not be in lockdown anymore, fearing for their lives and their loved ones' lives. So there is some resolution here, although the tragedy is that we will never be able to talk to this man to figure out exactly really what was going on psychologically for him. We'll have to really piece the puzzle together from loved ones, and I understood he left a suicide note as well to his son, but it would have been certainly easier for clarification if he had survived and a psychiatrist could talk to him, for instance.
Dr. Cerfolio, you mentioned that there is... Go right ahead. I'm sorry, Chris. Go right ahead.
Go ahead, Christian. I was just going to ask, for this community moving forward, it's obviously been a long week, but the recovery process, the dealing with what happened here, in many ways it's still beginning. What are the stages that this community, the people who knew these 18 people who passed away, what are the stages going forward?
So I think that we all fool ourselves that our community is above this type of violence, that it happens to other people in other states. I even listened to a Maine resident who said that. And so to the people that it happened to, often people, when they have that amount of overwhelming trauma, they dissociate, meaning they become emotionally numb or they check out, and it's on a spectrum. Often people that are in war, which is very much the trauma here of being in war, will just shut down because the psyche cannot process it. So it's a process of getting in touch with feelings of rage, anger, sorrow, shock, terror, and this is in a nutshell, but getting in touch with all of those feelings and getting inside of your body, not being dissociated, and then really mourning the loss of these 18 people that were killed and 3 more that are in critical care and 13 people that were injured, and mourning the loss, but going on with the living in a nutshell. I mean, that process takes a long time, certainly, but that is the process.
Dr. Cerfolio, mourning these losses is tough enough for adults, but one of the things that we know about this shooting is that it took place at a bowling alley on youth night. The youngest victim was 14 years old. We heard from other survivors, children who were talking about how scared they were and what was going on. Each community that has experienced this, they've said, we didn't expect this to happen here, but Lewiston, Maine is just another in line with this. In putting our focus with the community and with the children in this community, what needs to happen to make sure that the kids are taken care of, these children are receiving the care that they need? For parents who are concerned about what their kids witnessed, what they heard, what they might have seen, what needs to happen to make sure that children in this community are taken care of?
So I think it's so important to have mental health counselors available to speak with these children that were directly involved in this overwhelming, horrendous trauma. And for parents also to be able to talk to their child and to make sure that when they talk to their child that they themselves are not anxious or scared or depressed, that as much as they can be, that they're calm and grounded. and to try to talk to a child at their level, which varies depending on how old the child was. You said 14. So with that child, certainly they would have an understanding of what death is, whereas younger children under the 9 and 10 would not. But asking open-ended questions to a child, how they're feeling, how they're coping, are they feeling anything, or are they just checked out and not present, which is very common with war-type trauma for people to dissociate, and to maybe try to limit their access to social media and television coverage of the trauma to maybe a couple hours a day, and also not allow them to really be on the internet maybe an hour before bedtime, because it will definitely interfere with their sleep and contribute to contents of their dreams and even nightmares. So for a parent, you have to be really hypervigilant if the child has any change in mental status, meaning their personality, where they seem more remote or removed or not themselves. Then you really have to engage with your child and find out what's going on with them. And if they're having any difficulty functioning, you should seek professional help, because this is a huge, huge trauma for an adult to process, but much less a child. So they're going to need a lot of help here. Yeah.
There's just so much to think about and so much to process as we go forward. Doctor, thank you so much for your insight tonight. It's so important to focus on what the people hear, and so many people have been impacted by this. We'll be going through in the days and the weeks and much longer to come. I do want to turn now, as we are expecting this news conference at the top of the hour. National